It's the smallest scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp that has the biggest consequences. And of course, I'm talking about Marvel's signature end credits scene. Every big blockbuster should have an end credit scene. I feel very adamant about this. Marvel even sometimes doesn't do it these days, but they tacked on, I think, the saving grace of this movie. But of course, this is where a big old spoiler warning shows up, so consider yourself warned. Still here? Okay, so first off, Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place before Infinity War, with our characters not aware of the big picture because smaller details are distracting them. I could do these puns all day. Okay, so anyway, Scott Lang has been under house arrest after Infinity War. He took the deal so he could stick with his daughter, right? And the threat of prison for quite a long time is hanging over his head. Good incentive, one of the best things about the script. But anyway, because he used their technology, the Pyms are on the run, complicating their efforts to find Janet Van Dyne in the quantum realm. One of my favorite jokes from the movie is that Paul Rudd said, "You guys just put quantum in front of everything? Sometimes it feels like that's just what you do." They have not done a great job explaining, quite frankly, the quantum realm. But it's about to get real important. So fast forward through the entire movie and we get to the end credit scene. I'm only giving away stuff in the end credit scene to preserve some spoilers for those of you who want to wade carefully into spoiler territory. Anyway, basically the Pym sends Scott Lang into the quantum realm for, let's just say, a routine, or what's supposed to be a routine extraction. Ain't that always the way? Oh, it's routine. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Oh, wait, we're in a movie. And then there's an offhand warning from Hank Pym saying, oh, make sure you stay away from some kind of, I forget the exact wording, but time traps, basically. Because if you get stuck in one of those, we won't be able to save you. Again, it's an offhand remark, but it's incredibly important, not just for Scott, but for us, so remember that. Then, as you'd expect, Scott heads into the quantum realm, but while he's there, not one, not two, but all three Pyms get dusted. And so Scott Lang is stuck in the quantum realm. Or is he? Of course he's not, because here he is filming a scene with an older Tony Stark and a younger Captain America. Starting to put it together there? Let's do it together. Let's break it down together. Now, there's two end credit scenes, and the last one, it's pretty much a throwaway. It's Scott Lang's abandoned house, because he's not only stuck in the quantum realm, but the Earth has been plunged into chaos. And while the giant ant wails away on his drum set, my favorite thing, the nicest touch I felt, was the emergency broadcast playing on the television, showing that the entire planet Earth has been plunged into chaos. A little reminiscent of the Captain Marvel end credit scene in Infinity War, where that helicopter goes down and cars are crashing. I like that a lot too. You know why I like this so much? Because there's hardly ever lasting consequences in the MCU, and they rarely extend beyond our heroes, right? Or at least we don't see it. Like, with the Accords, and, there was a nice little PowerPoint presentation from Secretary Ross, but we didn't really ever get to see that. I mean, like, Alfre Woodard gave a nice little speech, right? But I didn't get to see any of that. Show don't tell, Marvel. Show don't tell. And they're like, these movies can only be so long. In fact, I just saw a rumor today that there's going to be an Infinity War Thanos cut, because they had to cut Thanos' whole origin story. Marvel, you're hilarious, but it's working for you. So I liked that, and I like seeing finally a very changed world as the result of superheroics. I think that'd be great, and I hope that we get to see the repercussions of that, although since they're using time travel, clearly, probably no one will remember. So that means in Avengers 4, we'll get to see this new world, at least briefly, and this is likely how it's going to go down. So, since only the Pyms know how to get anyone in and out of the quantum realm, and they're also the only ones who even know that Scott's in the quantum realm to begin with, what's he gonna do? He's gonna make for a time trap. He's got no choice. Which means Avengers 4 will likely start out with Scott Lang, man out of time, as he manages to escape the quantum realm only to find himself in the future. How fortuitous the time traps wouldn't it be? I mean, I'd be like, how do I know it's not just going to put me in a different time within the quantum realm? But I guess it shoots you out into into reality, and then he can use his technology to get larger. Scott Lang's guess is as good as mine. Neither one of us is very good at science. But bam! That explains the casting of an older version of his daughter, because he would go to his house first to check up on them, right? Bam! That explains this said photo. Because once Scott shows up in the future, who's he going to turn to for help with science? Not his pal Cap, but the other guy, Mr. Tony Stark. And maybe the other science bro as well. Anyway, since Tony never met a crazy idea he didn't love, and that's one of the main reasons I love Tony, when he finds out that you can travel through time via the quantum realm, well, here's our field trip. Sorry, Spider-Man Homecoming 2. I think Field Trip is a great name. But I think that at least Tony and Scott, as we can see from the set photo, will travel back in time to, for some reason, the very first Avengers movie, poetically bringing our heroes full circle. It's beautiful in its simplicity, and we all know how much Kevin Feige likes to keep it simple. So what do I think of the end credits scene? Well, I do like the way it sets up Avengers 4, but I think that Ant-Man and the Wasp is such a small movie that I don't think as many people are going to see the end credit scene as perhaps the MCU would like. I don't think it's something this cool, and setting up such a huge movie should have been a bigger movie, I think. I honestly think that this should have been the cliffhanger ending for the actual film instead of an end credit scene. The whole third act leading up to it. I think that would have been exciting, and I wish that the filmmakers here and Kevin Feige had thought bigger when it came to this movie. But this is clearly tacked on as an afterthought, filmed only recently. It has that, not quite matching feel to it, in terms of the actors. You're like, you look a little different. You've been off set for a while. And so I'm surprised that they weren't able to think about this in advance to weave it into the actual story. But hey, anything that gives Paul Rudd more screen time, and I missed him in Infinity War. He was so great for his brief moments in Civil War, and also something that pairs him with my favorite Avenger, Tony Stark, well, then overall, I'm good, right? I can't complain too much. I'm going to complain about this, though. I am disappointed in Marvel's treatment of its female characters yet again. I was disappointed to see both Wasps dusted. How long is it going to take to get the one female founding Avenger on the team cinematically? It's ridiculous. I see and also that they were both sidelined right away, right? Why do all three Pims have to work the computer? Couldn't you have easily made it that two people are necessary for the extraction? Get Scott Lang in there, and I would be thrilled if Michelle Pfeiffer were to show up in Avengers 4 as the Wasp, right? Get her in there. I think she would do a fabulous job, as kind of proven in this movie when she's allowed to do something. But again, Feige likes to keep it simple, and one person out of time is easy and familiar, whereas two people out of time is unnecessarily complicated story-wise, right? Who wants to explore their version of the future, et cetera, et cetera. It's just too difficult. Tom Holland, as we've discussed, does a mean Michael J. Fox impression. He has said that was his inspiration for Peter Parker and Spider-Man Homecoming, but I also think that Paul Rudd could do a good Michael J. Fox. All three of those guys have that light, high-pitched, ageless, manic energy. So what do you think of the end credits scene? Do you like it as an end credits scene? Do you think maybe it should have been like the third act, as I said? And what do you think of the fact that it's seeming more and more likely that Avengers 4 will heavily feature time travel? Oh, if Kevin Feige can keep that simple, I will be impressed. Time travel is notoriously complicated, although Back to the Future did kind of do it. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So share your thoughts down below, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.